Good morning, everybody. Today we are discussing Cardano's ADA. We're going to be jumping into the charts, taking a look at the price action with what I think is going to happen next based on what current structures and price movements we are experiencing. As I get into today's video, if you do find it useful, informative, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you haven't joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out, linked in the description below. Let's continue the conversation down there and let's make generational level wealth together. Let's jump right down into the charts. Keep this one nice and brief on this Saturday morning. We'll kick things off with the 1 hour time frame. So we have ADA paired up with USDT. We are using the BitGet spot exchange, and as I said, the 1 hour time frame. Following on from the previous video, we kind of hit our expectations. You can kind of see the yellow arrow that I left on there before. We hit the target range essentially here. It was a bit of a broad one. We are basically heading up to between 24.8498 to the 25.7818. Okay, so we completed that. Now, as you can kind of see, we have this as a three-wave structure. We have the internal three-wave structure, and so therefore our peak up here at 25.4960 appears to be the local high for now. We had this break to the downside that we started to see yesterday right inside here. So this looks like a singular wave to me. We'll take this down to a 15-minute time frame just so that we can kind of scrutinize what's going on in here. And to me, it looks very much like we have a 5-wave drop going on, but I'm going to do some sense checks here just to make sure. I'm going to take it from here and the low. We're going to move this over to here, and we actually see that this hits the 1.618. This one comes down to the 1.382. So a 5-wave drop it is, but it is not an impulsive 5-wave drop. This looks more like a W, X, Y, X, and Z. Okay, it's an interesting one. That would actually mean that we are more corrective on this move to the downside here, and we can continue this move to the upside now we've seen this. However, taking a look at this W, X, Y, X, and Z, and we have this move to the upside here. At the moment, we're finding support on the 200 hourly EMA, and the 50 EMA is just below there. We are just coming down from the overbought area on our hourly chart. So I suspect actually we've probably got more slippage to the downside to be seen here. Now, the other thing to bear in mind here is that W, X, Y, X, and Z like this could also be a contracting diagonal instead of this W, X, Y, X, and Z pattern, simply because we have a 5-wave drop over this side. So we want to be a little bit cautious. We could potentially see a bigger move to the downside on ADA that could basically make us have a zigzag pattern. And so for that, what we're going to do is we're going to jump on over into the daily time frame here, because what we're looking for here is essentially this 5th wave move to the downside, right? We're tracking this final C wave low, which contains a 5-wave drop, and we are in the wave 3, and we're tracking wave 5 of wave 3. Okay, so there's a lot of complicated stuff in here if you're not familiar, but ultimately Elliott wave theory, in my opinion, isn't that complicated once you actually start to get your head around it, and it actually makes a lot of sense when you're starting to track people's behavior. You should expect certain outcomes from their behaviors that they're currently exhibiting. So in here we can see that we have the wave 3. Okay, and that wave 3 contains a 5-wave structure, and we're inside the wave 5 of the wave 3. Now, of course, we're taking a look at this and saying to ourselves, this is more than likely a diagonal-based pattern within our 5th wave movement, and that is why I'm saying that we're probably likely to see that kind of next 5-wave drop to the downside, which I think will be a wave 3 of a wave 5 of a wave 3 of a C wave. And that might sound like a mouthful, but actually it's quite simple when you really break it down. And so ultimately, we are still on track, in my opinion, to move down towards 21.4 to 22.8 cent for Cardano's ADA on the daily time frame. Now, this is also compounded by the fact that we are back up here in the overbought area. Last time we were up here, we were essentially at the wave 4 high. Okay, so we can see that there are some similarities between where the price is able to push to based by its momentum indicator here as well. So we've reached the overbought exhaustion. Buyers are running out of momentum now, and we are likely to see this next pull to the downside on our daily time frame. This is also consistently seen on the slightly smaller time frame, like the 20-hour, the 16-hour, the 12-hour, the 8-hour, 4-hour time frame, not so much, but we can start to see that there is this progression back to the downside to be seen. And so for Cardano, we're still very much on track for this. We are looking for basically anywhere between 21.4 and 22.8 to complete the wave 3. The wave 5 in itself might, because I do think it's a diagonal based pattern, could be a couple of different things. I do want to do one sense check while we're here. I'm going to check the size of the wave 1 positioning. And yeah, we still have to come down deeper than the current local low in order to make wave 3 not the shortest wave, unless of course we're in a contracting diagonal. If we're in a contracting diagonal, then of course wave 1 will be the longest wave, wave 5 will be the shortest wave, wave 3 will just sit in the middle. So for the most part, yeah, that's kind of where we sit with that one. Take this up into the weekly time frame, and you can see that we're on this progression downwards still. This one actually shows us with us coming down deeper than what we see on the daily time frame, and so it's going to be interesting. Although this isn't a requirement necessarily, but we are tracking a Z wave which should finish between 7.98 cent and 19.25 cent. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Are we going to just tap the higher side of this, slightly overextend the C wave on the daily time frame, and basically just confirm that we hit this range? I still think that we have a good strong possibility around 15 to 18 cent. This is a previous area of resistance and support, and this is where I see the Z wave finishing, which I think would actually coincide nicely with a bear market low for Cardano's ADA. But I'm aware that there is still technically the possibility of dropping down towards 7.9 cent. I just do not think it's likely to happen based on how much momentum we've kind of utilized at the moment, and we haven't really seen the resets that we would need to in order to drag us down to these levels. Ultimately, we are oversold on the weekly time frame, but we can be down here for several weeks, so I'm not too concerned about that. I'm more concerned about seeing what forms on the daily time frame and how low that might potentially take the price action of ADA. But for now, yeah, I think that's kind of where we sit. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I think I'm going to wrap this video up right there. Just a nice short brief technical analysis update on ADA this morning. If you found it useful, smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. You can always unsubscribe later. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. Link is in the description below. Until the next one, have a fantastic day.